So we got the rest of the tractor parts this morning. The Synchro that I wasn't gonna replace, and I did replace, primarily because of these brass bushings that are in here. I saw a lot of pitting and a lot of wear to when this is engaged in here, it's fully seated all the way and engaging into that Synchro. This is supposed to add some friction so that that can slow down the gears and make the gears mesh. And I just wanted to take a minute and show you one of the other concerns and why I decided to buy it and get it replaced. So this is the old one, and that bushing was definitely part of that, but you can see that these teeth, this is what I was saying before about them being pyramidal. They have these triangular tips, and then they kind of come out and have a little bit of taper there. And if I measure this to see exactly how much tooth, so that's the whole tooth, including the point, but right at the tip, at the end of the tooth, we're looking at, get my calipers on there. We're looking at right, almost dead on to 5 millimeters, just barely over 5 millimeters. And that's the new one. Now, if we look at the old one that are rounded off, when I measure back to where it's flat, so we get a full engagement of the tooth in the collar, we're down to 3.7 millimeters. That's quite a distance worn off. And all the pressure of that drive is happening on those teeth. So when this collar slides and engages into there, the more tooth I have there, the better it's going to engage and hold. So it was a good call to get it replaced. Not to mention just for the teeth, for the sake of that, but let me see if I can get this other bushing out and I'll show you what it looks like. You can see that that bushing there has got, it's brass and it has little teeth in there, little grooves in there for oil to get into. This one doesn't have any of that left. And I bet you can like that. The thickness left on this bushing is right at 0.6 millimeters, 0.6. And that's the old one. The new one, if I slip that out, oh heck, the new one doesn't even want to come out because maybe it's bonded. Oh, it is bonded. So the new one's bonded to that, and the other one has come completely disbonded, but I could probably get an estimation about it here. Looks like we're closer to 1 millimeter fully. So that's a pretty substantial difference in the amount of wear that's on there. And this tapered surface sits into that bushing. So you can see that it has a bit of a gap right here between, and the faces are basically flush. And on the old one, it wasn't even close to that. In fact, it's got a long ways. There's no gap left. The teeth, the two gears are pushed right towards each other, and you can see that when it's fully engaged, the rear gear sticks out the front quite a ways because there's just so much wear on that bushing. So it's good. It was a good thing to get the new one because that's going to make quite a difference in how long from the time you depress the clutch pedal, how long you have to wait for the gears to slow down as that is allowed to shift. Meaning that when you're doing a lot of load work and you're back and forth, you know, you shift into forward and you're pulling into the stack, and then you got to shift into reverse. So you pull in your clutch pedal and you can pull it out, but you can't get it back in yet because the gears are still spinning. There's not enough braking action happening. So then you got to wait a little longer and then pull it in, and then you can back up. Having that fixed up is going to make that transition a lot more seamless. So it should slow down and engage the collar almost immediately. So it'll make a big, big difference. So it's good to find that. We got that here. We did get the shift fork. I've already got it in place. So we're going to hurry and slap this one in and get it back into place so that I can button up the last little bits of the shift fork and the actuators and stuff on the front portion of this transmission so that I can get that back together, reset my jacks, and start pulling out apart the rear end to get those brakes changed. All right, now, there we go, snap that in. This part's gonna go that way, but we got the snap ring first. Do this one. That clicked in real nice. Sounds good, looks good. Fully seated. This guy is going to go in here. That might take some tapping because it's got the bearing surface in there, so gently tap it into place. And then I'm gonna gently tap on this bearing race, the inner race. Get it to slip all the way on into place for the snap ring. Just like that. You can hear the tone change when it sets up against the shoulder and becomes solid. And now, and I could see the groove just barely come into place and be just exactly flush. So now when we put this in, that should snap right into place. Okay, that's got that part. Probably should have had this inserted first, because now, I don't know if I can get to that. Shoot, didn't even think about that. It's gonna be hard to get to that ring. Dang it. How complicated is it gonna be to slide that collar off? Color should, by design, not come off of that Synchro. Get in there. That back side. Looking for an access point of any kind, and I don't really have one to try to drive that pin out and then back in. Dang it, guess I messed up. Got too excited to get the Synchro on. Maybe. All things to coordinate here. Okay, that has the Synchro and the shift fork back in place. That lower shaft was causing me problems trying to get clearances I needed, so I had to pull it back out too. Alright, now that snap ring snaps right in. Okay. That's in place. Now we can go back in. This guy. Those little bearings. Finish tapping that bearing in place. Hear that change in sound? That's solid. That snapped right in. Okay, so that has shift collar, shift fork, all back in. And now this guy should just fit into there. Get the gears to mesh. Let's tap that bearing on just a little further first. Here. These aren't press fit. They're just like an exact fit, I guess you'd say. I would say. I don't know what an engineer would call it, but come on. Well, that fit that way last time. Here's the collar. There we go. Seated that bearing into the housing. All that feels good and looks good. And we get all of our engagement points. Yeah. Okay, that all feels good. So we've got a bearing here. When you get them exactly right, they kind of slip right into place. And then I've got to put, so I got a new fork here, this little rail, because there's a little bit of wear in there. And when it's in the hole, you can feel it move like this. And it shouldn't. It should stay nice and just rotate. But it actually does a little bit of walking like this, which just adds movement to all the linkage here for that forward and reverse shuttle. So I got a new one. Need to put some O-rings on it real quick. Put that back into place with the rings. Now this is, or with the pins, this is the pin that broke on me 3 years ago. That pin right there. And I noticed as I drove this one out, it's cracked, the new one that I put in. So I'm gonna do the old double pin situation here to reinforce the thickness of that so that it's all in good shape when I put that back in. But we're about there. We'll be able to get this thing put back together into 2 halves and ready to rock and move on with the brakes pretty quick here. So watch for the next one.